Did you know that Robert's rebellion didn't exactly go well for King Robert the entirety of the time? Rather, the rebellion force's victory was narrow at best, and one of the main reasons Robert Baratheon won in the first place was due to none other than Lord Stannis. It all happened while Robert was still in the Vale with Ned under the tutelage of Jon Arryn, when Prince Rhaegar Targaryen named Lyanna Stark his Queen of Love and Beauty during the jousting tourney of Harrenhal. Ned's older brother Brandon Stark, who was also the heir at the time, felt greatly insulted. Equipping his sword and armor, he marched for King's Landing with little to no forces. His goal was restoring his sister's honor, who had already been promised to Lord Robert Baratheon, a great friend to Brandon and a great ally to their household. Often called the gangster of Winterfell, Lord Brandon couldn't be described as the brightest of Starks. He often thought with his fists, which was what he would do in this scenario as well. Upon arriving without any rest, he barged to the Red Keep and demanded that the Mad King punishes his son for dishonoring his sister. But the Mad King had not earned his alias out of nothing. Unbothered by Brandon's demands, he locked him up, and he himself demanded Lord Rickard Stark to come apologize to him if he would ever hope to reclaim his son and heir in one piece. But even when Rickard Stark did as bid, Mad Aerys burned him alive with wildfire while his son Brandon took his own life after watching it unfold. Shortly after such a thing happened, Rhaegar Targaryen kidnapped Lady Stark, and that's when the fury of Ned Stark and Robert Baratheon would fully set ablaze. Ned quickly claimed the North as its newly crowned warden, while Robert would gather forces at home before regrouping in the Riverlands. However, they would be intercepted in the Battle of Ashford and suffer a defeat under House Tully. The commanding general was none other than Samwell's father, Randil Tarly, who is also the only man in history to have ever defeated King Robert in battle, even though his victor rights were seized by Mace Tyrell, with him being unable to refute it due to his house being a mere vassal to the Tyrell household. Even though he was still inexperienced, Robert had quite the battle intelligence and was a general who followed his instincts too well, which is why he found a way out of their trap and managed to flee to the Riverlands with most of his troops intact. There, he would regroup with the forces of Ned Stark and Jon Arryn, before winning consecutive victories and a major battle that would later be called the Battle of the Bells. Robert's first major victory would unfold at Summerhall, where he faced a considerably large army made of Targaryen loyalists and rebellion opposers. It was there where Mad Aerys would decide to take Robert seriously, since he would go on to win 3 battles in a single day, even though most scholars of the Citadel acknowledged Ned Stark as the brain behind those victories, with Robert simply being the muscle force. As Robert's victories would continue to pile up, Prince Rhaegar Targaryen would emerge with a quickly assembled force of his own that pushed the rebellion back tremendously, until eventually meeting their crucial point at the Battle of the Trident. The rebellion forces were outnumbered by 5,000 men, but they were unfaltered due to having justification on their side. As the battle raged all around them, we finally get the showdown between Robert and the Targaryen prince, the stag and the dragon, right there at the fort of the river. Robert fought with the fury of 10 men raging blow after blow until Prince Rhaegar staggered. His force collapsed as Robert connected his massive warhammer right in his chest, with the rubies in the prince's armor flying in the river as red-colored as his blood. To this day, it continued to be known as the Ruby Fort. But even though Robert defeated the last hope of the Targaryen loyalist, with many having lost their faith on the Mad King a long time ago, the battle was far from being one-sided, with Robert himself having taken massive wounds and being unable to ride for King's Landing. He decided to send none other than Ned Stark to claim the city. However, when Lord Stark reached there, he saw all hell break loose.